All right, Leroy, it's that time. A.H. Hoffman, it's that time. The Hutchinson Report, podcast take of the week. No, not what A.H. Hoffman thinks is relevant. No, not what Oliver. No, not what Leroy thinks is relevant. What I think is relevant. In the news this week, the happenings and developments. All right, let's get down to business, A.H. Hoffman.
Okay.
Him, H-I-M, little him and big him. The guy goes on and on and on. You know what? Did someone ever, at the Apollo Theater, Oliver, you're way too young to remember this, when they had a bumming act on stage, they had a hook, and they would pull the hook out. I'm sitting there watching this guy at the Republican National Convention with his acceptance speech. Get the hook for this guy. 1 hour goes by. 2 hours go by. 3 hours go by. Is he still talking, Oliver? Is he still talking now? Is he still... And we already knew you could nail this one in. It goes like this. Number one, beat up on Biden. Number two, beat up on Biden. Number three, beat up on Biden. Did I leave? There's a 4 and a 5? Okay, number 4, well, a little bit of Harris. But no, number 4A, beat up on Biden. Number 5, lie. Number 6, distort. Number 7, I, me. And by the way, number 8, did you catch that? You had all of his trained SEALs, trained sheeps, about 1,000 of them, sitting there. That's right, no masks on, no social distancing, no anything. Did you catch that? And they were all there. And by the way, you had a number of folk coming out of the Republican National Convention, no surprise, tested positive for COVID. How many in that crowd, that trained SEAL crowd, watching him tested positive after that? They looked like robots. They looked like automatons. It looked like, go back and, if you're a history buff, Hitler's Nuremberg rallies, those torch rallies, that's what I thought I was watching, Hitler. But by the way, they were more entertaining. But this guy, one long monologue about me, to his trained SEALs. Let me tell you what's scary about that, A.H. Hoffman. I wrote, and I looked at that email again. I hope I don't have to look at it again. An email I wrote to myself. Oliver, September 10th, 2016. I wrote an email. Many people, Leroy, in the years since pointed that out to me. I wrote the email, and I had 5 bullet points, A.H. Hoffman, September 10th, 2016. And put simply, he may win. Yeah. He may win. I said that when nobody, including himself, thought he could win. It was in the bag for Hillary. It was going to be a landslide. What did I base that on? I watched him, and I thought about what he was doing. I'm not going to go into that. We'll have much more time later on. I hope, again, I don't have to write another email this September saying the same thing with the 5 points. I have said over and over again that Joe Biden in the campaign, and they finally got it, by the way, talk about what you're going to do. Yeah. You know the guy's going to throw the sewer at you. You know the guy's going to throw the gutter at you. You know the guy's going to heap garbage all over the place on you, the whole garbage dump on you. You don't have to go there with that. Pick your spots. You rebut every now and then, but basically stay on point. Tell the American people what you're going to do. Second thing, many people are warning now, Joe, you may have a Kenosha problem. The burning and all of that. All Trump is going to do, it plays into his hand, that law and order. Remember, I am the firewall, the police, the beleaguered police of America, the thin blue line. I am the one that's going to protect you against the A.H. Hoffmans, the Olivers, people that look like them. They don't look like me, A.H. Hoffman, because, my people from Polynesia, we don't know anything about that. But anyway, having said that, that is going to be the fallback line. Then we know something else. We got about, and I like that, A.H. Hoffman, America held hostage. You're doing the countdown. Now, I think today you posted 66 days to end the siege of America. I think you're doing the countdown every day. But the problem with that is, unfortunately, 66 days. People are already starting to forget about COVID. People are already starting to forget a little bit about the economy, how he collapsed that and crashed that. Many people are now buying into his BS line about the economy and all the jobs I'm creating. I'm just wondering, people have short memories for a lot of things. Let's hope it doesn't work. All right. By the way, one other thing, too. Did you catch that thing, A.H. Hoffman, about boasting and Ricky about the vaccines? Did you catch that line about the vaccine? Wait a minute. Why do you need, Leroy, a vaccine when you said it's a hoax? I thought you told us it was a hoax, COVID. Didn't you tell us it was a hoax? What do you need a vaccine for? It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. It's, Ricky, fake news.
You are fake news.
There you go. It's fake news. What do you need a vaccine, A.H. Hoffman and Oliver, for fake news? What do you need a vaccine and to inoculate people if it's a hoax? I've never heard of that. Is that a medical malady called hoaxitis? I mean, is that something that you vaccinate people for? I'm going to have to consult the medical dictionary on that. Hoaxitis. We got a new one. And you need a vaccine for that. I just got to tell you, it's absolutely amazing. And by the way, one other thing, too, about that. Let me go back to that trained SEAL crowd of his again. You had nurses there, A.H. Hoffman, and you had first responders. Remember when they panned the crowd? Nurses who should know better. First responders who have to deal with sick people. Not one of them had a mask on. Not one of them social distance. It was just amazing to see the spectacle here. But again, considering the source, what do you expect? One final thing. Let me go back to Kenosha for a minute. Okay, now they're beating up on the young man that they shot in the back, telling all kind of lies about him, bringing up everything about his past. We know that. We know the script on that. Very curious. Nothing about the cop that shot him. They put a rap on him. But even more interesting than that, A.H. Hoffman, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who goes in and blows two people away and then walks away, strolls away with his AR-15. I'd be very, and by the way, A.H. Hoffman, one other thing. Jacob Blake, they have him shot 7 times. God, he must have a heck of a constitution. I don't know how you shoot somebody 7 times and they're still alive, in the back no less, with those weapons that they have. Chained to his hospital bed in intensive care. They got him handcuffed to the bed. Now, I would like to pay, A.H. Hoffman, you and I, we're going to pay a visit to the Racine County Jail where they're holding 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. I'd be very curious to see how they're treating him there. I'd be very curious to see if they're bringing him, not Burger King, but bringing him gourmet meals and whispering in his ear, "We got your back. We got your back." I'd be very curious to see how he's being treated, as opposed to someone shot 7 times in intensive care, paralyzed, fighting for his life, and still handcuffed to a hospital bed in intensive care. I'd be very curious to see. But then again, I know our law and order Trump Nixon guy. I know he'll come to bat on that one, right? He'll take care of that one, right?
Yeah.
He will make sure everything is okay on that, right, A.H. Hoffman? I just know Trump Nixon. Notice I'm running it together now. Trump Nixon will make sure everything is all right. All right, you've been listening to the Hutchinson Report. One final thing before we leave. Hats off to the NBA. My brothers in the NBA, they did the right thing. And the sisters in the WNBA, they said no. We've had it. And I'm always a little leery about my football guys. Some of them not always, but a lot of them, Russell Wilson, they spoke out. They got it. They said, if it happened today, the season starts in 2 weeks, A.H. Hoffman. If it happened today, a lot of the football guys said, we would sit out too. I was proud of them. NBA, we got that. MLB, a lot of them. Even what's the other one? The soccer league, MSL. What's the Leroy, the National Soccer League? Yeah, thank you, Ricky. And, of course, the NFL. I like that. All right, you've been listening to the Hutchinson Report, podcast of the week. I'm your host, Earl Ofari Hutchinson. I'm asking you, 818-985-5735, 818-985-KPFK.
The Hutchinson Report.
There will be major battles within the Senate, the House, Congress, and the White House, whoever the president is.
Your host, Earl Ofari Hutchinson.
We got to cut this. We got to cut that. We got to raise taxes. Why? Because you've got to raise that money somewhere, and we know 1% corporate cronies, they're not going to pay their share.
Tune into the Hutchinson Report, Saturdays at 9 a.m.
Once again, it falls back on the shoulder of guess who? Joe and Jane, blue collar and poor person. There is no free lunch.
Right here on KPFK.